Let's discuss about experiments. An experiment, as we all know, is a procedure carried out to verify, refute, or validate a hypothesis. Experiments provide insight into cause and effect by demonstrating what outcome occurs when a particular factor is manipulated. And of course, this definition is lifted from the most popular source of knowledge for us college students, Wikipedia. Moving on, we often associate experimental research with the fields of biology, chemistry, physics, psychology, and other major branches of science. But did you know that experiments are also being performed in the field of accounting research? Which brings us to our main topic, experimental research in accounting. As discussed earlier, experimental research is a test where the researcher manipulates one or more variables to determine the effect on a dependent variable. In the field of accounting research, it is often used when there is time priority in a causal relationship, consistency in a causal relationship, and the magnitude of the correlation is great. For example, an experiment can be conducted in determining what important features of financial accounting settings determine behavior of managers and auditors. Experimental research offers great advantages as well as its own disadvantages. For the advantages, first is that we can control and manipulate variables. The researcher can control the variables being tested, which could provide more validity and accuracy. Second is that it can provide ease in determining cause and effect relationship between their variables. Next is that it can be easily replicated. And lastly, it could provide better results due to higher control over the variables. Moving on to the disadvantages. First is that it can be subjected to human error. It takes an extensive amount of time to conduct and complete. And lastly, artificial situations may be created, which is one of the major issues in conducting experimental research. With that, there may be a trade-off between experimental rigor and practical authenticity. Another issue is that experimental research may succeed in a way that one method is better than the current practice, but may not be able to tell why. With all the factors present, it may not be able to specifically determine the factor that made the improvement. But wait, how is experimental research different from other types of research? The answer to that lies in its own definition, such that it involves manipulation of one or more variables, and is often used when there is a time priority in a causal relationship. This is why the words manipulation and cause and effect were emphasized earlier. Such as for financial accounting, it is most commonly used in determining how, when, and why certain conditions influence behavior or decision making. We have found various examples of studies that use experimental research in different journals.
Created using Powtoon.